What's up everybody, welcome to another camera comparison video. Today I have this iPhone 13 Pro Max and Huawei P50 Pro. Yeah, I have been using Huawei P50 Pro for a while now. I actually don't use this one as my daily drive. It stays in my studio for most of the time. And the same thing goes to this iPhone 13 Pro Max. I feel like this one is too big for me, a bit too heavy. And I actually use iPhone 13 Pro as my daily drive. Anyway, I'm pretty excited about this camera comparison video because Huawei P50 Pro is the #1 camera smartphone. I mean, there is some kind of marking system, what it calls DDO mark, DOX mark or something. Somewhere this Huawei P50 Pro is #1, and I wanted to try this iPhone 13 Pro Max side by side with the #1 camera smartphone. Well, I always provide true content. I always try to provide you with my honest opinion. So if you like this video, if you find this video helpful, then please don't forget to click on the like button and please subscribe to this channel. Okay, before we start the video, one moment for the sponsor of this video, Umidigi. Yeah, I personally like Umidigi rugged smartphones, and this one is a bit different. This one isn't a rugged smartphone, this one is a budget smartphone. And after using this smartphone for a few days, I personally believe this one is one of the best that you can buy within its price range. Yeah, this one is Umidigi A11. I have dropped the link in the description box below. If you are looking for a budget smartphone, then I wish that you will at least check this smartphone. Okay, it's time to start our camera comparison video between iPhone 13 Pro Max and Huawei P50 Pro. What's up everybody, welcome to another camera comparison video. My name is Han and I really love to do camera comparison videos. Well, today I have this iPhone 13 Pro and Huawei P50 Pro. You check carefully which smartphone has rendered my skin tone correctly, which smartphone has rendered colors correctly, which smartphone has better dynamic range, which smartphone microphone is working better. Yeah, check everything and make a comment. Let me know which smartphone selfie video is better. Well, I think I should mention that none of these brands have ever sent me any review units. So I have to buy all the smartphones by myself, and yeah, I always try to provide you with true content. So if you like camera comparison videos, I wish that you will support honest content, true content. If you end up liking this video, then please don't forget to click on the like button and please subscribe to this channel. Well, it's time to start our camera comparison video. Let's flip to rear cameras. Okay, let's jump right into the indoor photos. No smartphone other than a few true super flagships, in my experience, can consistently perform in indoor environment. I know it's difficult to say which one is better without knowing the correct color. And the truth is, none of these two smartphones have managed to replicate the perfect colors. Yes, these are almost true to life and better than many other flagships, but color curve of these two smartphones got their own unique algorithm. And depending on personal preferences, you may select any of these two. Yes, at a glance, iPhone 13 Pro Max looks a bit better with higher contrast and punchier midtones, while Huawei P50 Pro has consistently increased highlights and sometimes colors are a bit saturated. I must mention I have taken all the photos of this comparison in auto mode and HDR was set to auto. Huawei P50 Pro has most of the time produced photos with better exposure, better shadow and vibrance. You also need to know, this Huawei P50 Pro already got a major camera update and it is performing better than before. I have mentioned in most of my camera comparison videos that many smartphones have this issue. Other than a few flagships, usually most of the smartphones struggles when there are many light sources hitting the lens in an indoor environment. It is amazing to see both the Huawei P50 Pro and iPhone 13 Pro Max has done well. Both comes with superb stock camera algorithm. But it seems Huawei P50 Pro in general has better white balance, correct exposure and most of the time managed to grab a little bit more details. I know we all have perception and we always think this brand is better than the other brand, but I wish you will watch through this video with an open mind. Yes, one more thing is better on Huawei P50 Pro, tonal contrast. However, iPhone 13 Pro Max has managed to process textures with clarity due to a better combination of exposure and ambience level. It does produce photos that looks eye-pleasing beside Huawei P50 Pro photos. Alright, it's time for human subject photos. Really, human photography is important to me cause I take a lot of photos of my friends and family. In our daily life, we don't wanna make our friends look like a ghost. Also, if there is an amazing background, we don't wanna lose the background too. Well, I have taken all the human subject photos in indoor environment cause these two smartphones takes very good photos under bright daylight, and the real difference is easily noticeable or visible in low light photos. Let me be clear, the differences are in white balance, color rendition, highlights and contrast. Exposure, shadow, structure and sharpness is almost similar, but sometimes it gets changed a bit. Sometimes iPhone 13 Pro Max has managed to process textures with precision, and sometimes Huawei P50 Pro processed with perfection. In human photography, I always carefully check three other things: skin tone, beauty effect, and skin fairness. Skin tone is definitely a bit better on iPhone 13 Pro. It also got a little more details on the subject, but sadly, both have added beauty effect and skin fairness. Actually, Huawei P50 Pro beauty effect is a bit more aggressive than iPhone 13 Pro Max, and yes, iPhone processed photos with artificially enhanced colors. By default, iPhone 13 Pro Max takes portrait photos at 3x. Actually, it can take portrait photos with both the main and the telephoto lens, but definitely I prefer to take portrait photos with that 3x telephoto lens. Huawei P50 Pro doesn't have any 2x or 3x telephoto lens, and it can only take portrait photos with the main sensor. But yes, it actually digitally crops in and gives the portrait photos a 50mm look. Before you start judging, let us crop in. Detail is great in both the smartphones. There is not much of a difference in details. Subject isolation is generally good, though iPhone 13 Pro Max is slightly prone to the occasional mishap. iPhone 13 Pro Max bokeh photos gets a bit warm. It has a bit more natural skin tone. Huawei P50 Pro has this fair skin tone, but colors are really better, more close to reality. I think I have already mentioned earlier, sometimes iPhone uses its algorithm, and look at this. She didn't have that type of face blush on her face. iPhone 13 Pro Max added a similar face blush to all the faces. That is crazy. Considering edge detection, edge cutouts and separation between subject and background, it is really difficult to find which one is better. I think iPhone 13 Pro is a bit better, but depending on your preferences, which one is better? Please make a comment and let us know. On paper, as per specification, Huawei P50 Pro got a very ordinary ultra-wide sensor, 13 megapixel ultra-wide sensor without optical stabilization. iPhone 13 Pro Max comes with a 12 megapixel sensor, and yes, it also comes without any optical image stabilization. But yeah, it has better aperture, straight to the point, realistic rendition of colors, more details in the shadows and better exposure. Yeah, that's Huawei P50 Pro. On the other hand, iPhone 13 Pro Max managed to get better dynamic range, better color temperature. Obviously, iPhone processed textures with clarity and it looks sharper. Yeah, iPhone 13 Pro Max has a bit saturated and a bit artificially optimized color grading, which sometimes really looks cool, like eye candy. And sometimes I think it just goes far from reality. The same place, the same photo, but this time these photos were taken with the main sensors of these smartphones. As mentioned at the beginning, I have disabled any kind of AI or scene optimization on P50 Pro, and you can see Huawei P50 Pro is still doing some synthetic processing. This shows that the actual difference is in computational photography and stock camera algorithm. Yes, of course, we all know these days iPhone have this trend to beautify sky color, and like its other brothers, iPhone 13 Pro Max has also increased midtones. Moreover, it aggressively adds synthetic processing to those green tree leaves. That's not surprising, but the way Huawei P50 Pro processed photos is more surprising. Color reproduction of Huawei P50 Pro has changed in daytime photos. Huawei P50 Pro started to saturate the photos, maintained slightly warmer color temperature, while iPhone 13 Pro Max sometimes missed the correct exposure in harsh lighting conditions, and in some photos, shadows are a bit crushed. Most of the time I see people make comments depending on perception. It's like he said, she said, and then I thought, yeah, a lot of people say a lot of things about a lot of different smartphones, but in real life you need to compare the best performance, the worst performance, and check average consistency. In general, both the smartphones have managed to get enough details. Texture processing is also good. Quality wise, very difficult to select a better one in daytime photos. iPhone 13 Pro Max has a 3x telephoto lens tagged to a 12 megapixel sensor, while Huawei P50 Pro got a periscope lens tagged to a 64 megapixel sensor and offers 3.5x optical zoom. Yes, both got optical image stabilization, and performance is somewhat pretty similar at native zoom level. Or even at 4x, both did very well. Other than preferential differences like color tone mapping and color temperature, quality of the photos are good, no complaints. But once we start zooming in, I mean anything beyond 5x, and yeah, the differences starts to get visible. If you are watching this video in 4K, then you would notice it at a glance. But anyway, let us crop in and we can see that there is a slight difference in details and sharpness. P50 Pro has more details and managed to process textures with sharpness. Let's go beyond 5x. These photos were taken at 10x and you can see the differences, right? The building got almost no details and textures on the photo grabbed by iPhone 13 Pro Max. Not only that, Huawei P50 Pro also has managed to render colors correctly. Okay, finally it's time for night mode photos. It is very difficult to choose which one is better cause both have its own strong points. I have my own way to check night mode photos. Most of my subscribers and regular viewers, they know about this. DENS, details, exposure, noise and shadows. But today, here we have another factor differentiating the quality of the photos. That's amazing stock camera algorithm of these two smartphones. You must understand that I took these photos in an extreme weather. It was foggy and truly almost all other flagships have failed. Yeah, other than the super flagships. Anyway, I have never expected to see a huge difference in camera performance at night. I mean night mode photos. I was excited to see how they perform side by side. Actually, night mode performance of these two are somewhat similar. Yes, occasionally Huawei P50 Pro is better than iPhone 13 Pro Max, and sometimes iPhone 13 Pro Max did better. After checking a lot of night mode photos, I have noticed Huawei P50 Pro has slightly more details and textures than iPhone 13 Pro Max. It looks sharper and exposure management is a bit better too. Yes, a lot depends on how you like your photos. Some people would argue that if night mode photos are not bright enough, if it's not visible, then why we need night mode? But after I have checked 4 factors that defines a good night mode photo, I believe in this comparison, truly it's inconclusive. However, based on my preferences, Huawei P50 Pro marginally wins the main sensor night mode battle with more details and balanced exposure. Noise and shadows are rather similar. What do you think? Which one is better? I have tried to test zoom photos. Actually, I have tried to take 5 times zoom photos. No, iPhone 13 Pro Max doesn't have any telephoto lens for 5x, but fought well with that 3.5x periscope lens of Huawei P50 Pro. iPhone uses its 3x telephoto lens, and anything beyond 3 times zoom requires heavy digital crop-in. Yes, P50 Pro also needs to crop in when it's beyond 3.5 times zoom, but it has a 64 megapixel sensor which works better while digital cropping comes into action in darkness. Well, it's time for selfie photos and selfie portraits, and as usual, I'm not going to describe the differences between the selfie photos of these two smartphones. Yeah, there is an international smartphone giveaway going on for the subscribers of this channel. If you are subscribed to this channel, then what you have to do is to make a comment and describe the differences between these two smartphones' selfie photos. Also, if you are a regular viewer or if you are subscribed to this channel for a long time, then you know Amanda, right? Yeah, Amanda is back and we are preparing a special camera comparison video for you. So don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned. For years, iPhone have always been known for their remarkable video quality and have been considered the gold standard for smartphone videography. Many content creators, including me, sometimes use iPhone for content creation. However, when we look at these 4K 30 frames per second video recordings, we can see that Huawei P50 Pro also performed remarkably well and went head-to-head with the iPhone in terms of video quality and stabilization. Yes, both have produced equally excellent flagship quality videos with slight differences. Outdoor videos on Huawei P50 Pro has slightly lower saturation than the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Stabilization is very good on both. Huawei P50 Pro seems to be smoother when walking, but it has failed to correct white balance. Color temperature is a bit too cool. We have already seen that both of these two smartphones can record amazing video clips, crisp and clear video clips. And these video clips were recorded at night. And at night time, things are almost the same, but there will be a bit more jitteriness on both, as both uses EIS together with OIS. But I really don't know why Huawei P50 Pro has way too much jitteriness. I didn't expect this. Yes, definitely iPhone stabilization is better and processing is way better on 13 Pro Max. Well, exposure and contrast is actually better on P50 Pro, but overall iPhone 13 Pro Max is still the king of videography. This is the toughest part of a camera comparison. I mean, sometimes, yeah, it's really easy to give verdicts, like when there are a lot of differences, but sometimes it's really a bit difficult because the findings, the outcomes are actually inconclusive. Like, you cannot really say that Huawei P50 Pro is better or worse than iPhone 13 Pro Max, and the same goes to iPhone 13 Pro Max. You cannot say that it's the king. So I think it's okay to say that iPhone 13 Pro Max is the best for videography, and Huawei P50 Pro is still better in night mode and struggles in human photography or portrait photography. Daytime photography, you can go with any of these two. What do you think? What's your verdict? Please don't forget to make a comment and share your thoughts and ideas about these two smartphones. Also, one more time, if you have liked this video, then please don't forget to click on the like button and subscribe to this channel.